Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth night of Startup Summit 2021, kicking off tonight with our Brick and Mortar Business Competition Division. We're joined by three fantastic judges who are going to introduce themselves in just a moment. But tonight's competition is for startups and startup projects that are working on a business that has a brick and mortar location, either in the plan or in actuality already today. Teams will have 5 minutes to present and 3 minutes for Q&A. During the course of their presentation to convince the judges that their startup is the best one tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to let the judges give a brief introduction of themselves, starting with Mr. Cameron Parker. Cameron, good evening. Welcome. And you're on mute. You're on mute there, Cameron.
Sorry about that. I forget it mutes every time we go back into goes back into another room. Anyway, my name is Cameron Parker. I'm a third-generation graduate of Mississippi State University. I live here in Starkville, Mississippi with my wife and kids. I'm in the restaurant business. Just excited to be here and can't wait to hear what y'all have to do.
Awesome. Thank you, Cameron. Neil Milet out of Indiana. How are you doing tonight, Neil?
Good. I just got off my job site. I'm remodeling a 20,000 square foot building and trying to replicate a little bit of what you have at the East Center, which is my source of inspiration for so much. I'm a farmer from Indiana. Really thankful to be here with everybody tonight and super excited about looking forward to learning about your startups and your ideas. So thanks for the time.
Awesome, Neil. Thanks for joining us. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Boyd Kugel. Good evening. Welcome.
Hey, Eric. Hey, everyone. My name is Boyd Kugel, otherwise known as BJ. My wife and I own BJ's Family Pharmacy here in Starkville. Started that for some crazy reason about 8.5 years ago. Decided my wife is good at numbers and books and being a pharmacist. I'm pretty good at managing people. Together, we own and operate a pharmacy here in Starkville. So glad to be here tonight.
Awesome. Thank you for joining. Okay, so before we get started tonight, audience joining us live online, be sure to tune in and check out the YouTube description. You'll have the link there shortly for People's Choice Awards, where you could vote on your favorite team from this division, and they'll actually have the chance to win $250. You can vote as many times as you'd like, but go in there. As you see pitches that you like, be sure to vote. Teams will get real money from that. And finally, before we get started on presentations, tonight wouldn't be possible without three fantastic sponsors that help us give out more than $30,000 this week to aspiring young entrepreneurs here in Mississippi. That's BankTel Systems out of Columbus, Reed Food Technology in Jackson, Mississippi, and Industry Services Co. in Alabama. Thank you to them and the countless other donors of the Mississippi State alumni family that make it possible for us to support great entrepreneurs every week. Okay, tonight our first pitch is going to be a live juicery, and I believe Alyssa is on. Alyssa, are you with us here?
Hi, Eric. There was a mix-up with the schedule. Madison is moving me.
Okay, great. No problem. I haven't seen it yet. All right, we're going to shift the schedule just a little bit, and our next presenter is going to join us in just a moment. Okay, and Ariana, as soon as you're ready, feel free to take it away.
My name is Ariana Howell. I'm the founder of Curl Crew Beauty, where CCB sells and markets Black-owned hair care products, informed by hair care down to the ingredients, all while supporting a Buy Black initiative, putting purpose behind your hair care, which runs us into our problem. Is it working? Okay. So within the Black hair care industry, we face a whole lot of problems, and that ranges from lack of Black representation within the beauty supply stores. Owners who own them don't know where they're selling to us, so they are knowledgeable about the products. They're not Black owned. Discrimination, which goes into locked up products, and they don't offer other services such as salon and barbershop services, and they can't consult on Black hair because they don't know our information behind that industry. So as you can see in the picture on the left, there is lots of hair care products, and it shows that we face discrimination within the industry. So CCB came up with the brick and mortar solution. So executed by our staff, we're gonna have knowledge on all products and services that we offer. With the integrated salon and barbershop, scan QR codes that help you learn your products with embedded YouTube videos, no lock products, no discrimination, and consulting, which Curl Crew Beauty has been doing since 2016, since they first started. So we pride ourselves in the in-person funnel. We are the in-person funnel that helps our customers through the buying experience. So it all starts off with awareness. People who have issues with discrimination and don't know knowledge on hair care products and the Black hair care products they use, they become aware of CCB and hopes that we can solve their problem with our solutions, which we can. It goes into the interest that they have found our company and want to find more about it through our staff, which is executed correctly. Decisions, we have helped and taught their hair care journey, and they goes into the action plan of them actually buying hair care products and trusting us and building that customer loyalty. So our sales and marketing strategy is separate. It's to social media marketing and organic marketing. Social media marketing includes Facebook ads and funnels, Instagram ads with integrated content creation, because what you put out there is what you get. And cross promoting, which includes everything besides your Instagram and Facebook. So that's your YouTube, Spotify, IGTV, and etc. And it goes into our organic marketing with email marketing, SEO, strategic relationships, and human resource strategy, which is our staff, which we pride ourselves in our staff to know everything about the products and services that we offer. So here's our financial model. This is based on what we're selling right now with the collegiate bonnets. Each bonnet is $35 with the materials being 10 with a unit gross profit of $20.50. Who are we up against? We are right now, I have been through all the beauty supply stores in Memphis, Tennessee, and possible POC who share the same concern will most likely become more knowledgeable and want to make a brick and mortar. But we are selling an experience. That's what makes us so different from the rest. We are the current customers. I have personally went in these beauty supply stores, faced discrimination, faced the locked up products, and I know exactly what we need. So that goes into we have the same struggles as the rest. And we have strong customer relations. Customer loyalty is really important for the upkeep of a startup and a business in general, to keep the customer coming and being happy with the services. And we know what needs to be executed, and we refuse to be like the rest with our innovative ways of like QR codes, integrated salon and barbershop, knowledge on all products and services that we offer, and so much more. Any questions?
I had a few questions.
Okay.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. You said that you have actually been in business since 2006. Did I hear that correctly?
2016.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. That's what I meant.
You're good.
And I apologize. So you said that you've been selling bonnets. Is that right?
Yes, previously, like just this year, we started selling collegiate bonnets. They've been just came out last week, and we already have sold about 10, 15 with regular marketing. So we trying to do better marketing so we can still out with the rest, which we originally had 24.
Okay, so you had 24, you sold 10 to 15.
Hmm.
All right, fantastic. I think that gets me. Thank you.
No problem.
And we have 2 more minutes for questions, judges.
Hi, how are you tonight? This is Neil.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So what's been, I guess, do you have any really compelling customer experiences or testimonials that you can share so far on how you're really connecting with them and just bringing them just a wonderful experience?
Yes, actually, since I have been consulting since 2016 and doing very well in 2019, I actually had a couple of classmates of mine and older, about the age range of 24 to 35, actually coming to me and saying that I'm doing a great job with, I have came up with a survey and actually, I have taught them how to care for their hair, sent products, recommendations to them, and everything that I sent to them has actually worked out for their hair. Hair care is hard within itself. It's costs so much, so it's good to have that in-person person who can just like really help and tell you about your texture, your type, your hair care products that's meant for you. So I get a lot of praise about that. So in the future, which is coming up without the next 6 months, that Curl Crew Beauty will be having a way to actually send hair care products to our customers that cater to them.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Judges, any more questions? Okay, thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Jasmine, are you online? We're going to shift the schedule around here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, if you're ready, why don't you share your screen and we'll move on to you next.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
No problem.
Can you see it? Let me share my-
We see you, but we don't have your screen just yet. Whenever you're ready to share that.
Yes, sir. Can you see it?
There we go. Yep, we got it. We see how it works. All right, and Jasmine, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Butler. I am a senior here at Mississippi State. I'll be graduating in April. And I recently was inducted into Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. That is fall 20. So last semester is when I joined. And after joining, I saw that we had a lack of our paraphernalia, which is our Greek letters, in all stores that I went to. We have very little stores. We don't have that many. So my idea was to bring it to Starkville. JT Greek Shop. My name is Jasmine Tanner Butler, so that's where the JT comes from. So I want to gear my Greek shop towards NPHC organizations with custom, unique, and stylish paraphernalia. Like I said, the problem I saw was slim to none NPHC Greek stores, and I'm here to solve that. I want to see more of our paraphernalia the way we want to wear it, not the way others want us to wear it. And I don't want everybody to always go online. Yes, I will have my business online as well, but I also want you to be able to come into the store and get a feel for the clothing you're about to purchase, along with making appointments with me. I'm also a fashion design major here at State. I custom make some of my clothes. Right here behind me, I made this jacket and the bottom pants. It says Z5B on the back. And with the pants, it says finer. One of our mottos is finer womanhood. So my solution is to bring custom made pieces, silk screening instead of screen printing. We do have a university screen print here in Starkville, along with occasions. Those both would be my locally competitors. Then there's also an MPHC Greek shop in West Point. And I would also feature other minority-owned businesses too. The ones that are just online, they don't have a store. I would reach out to them and offer some of their apparel, some of their creations in my shop as well. I want customers to feel at home when they come into my shop. I've been in customer service for 9 years now. I work at a local restaurant, Moe's Barbecue. And if they're not having a good day, I try to make sure everybody's having a good day surrounding me. I've worked at flower shops. I've worked at boutiques, shoe stores. Managers to bosses always told me I'm very approachable. I'm fun going. I'm easy to talk to, and you'll spend a lot in the store. Good customer service is definitely key. I strive with good customer service. I don't want anybody to leave the store unhappy or anything of that nature. Main thing is to promote. I'll collab with other businesses that aren't technically selling the same thing I'm selling, but will help me get what I'm selling out there as well. Create memberships. So I have my set clientele, but I'll also be bringing in more with my set clientele, having them promote for me, direct sales as well. Some marketing strategies that I have thought of, that I've done in previous stores I've worked in, that I've seen work, I would also want to do them with my store. Point-based system. You buy one thing in the store, you earn points from that one thing, however much that one thing is. Usually if it's like, 50 or more, it'd be worth like 1 point. So collecting points each time you come into the store, that'll make you want to come back. And once you collect, let's say a certain amount of points, that's a certain amount of money you will have off on your next purchase. Sending out email updates, having people sign up for email updates, sending out birthday wishes, remembering your customers, making a connection with your customers is something I definitely want to strive in. Having brand ambassadors. I'm a brand ambassador for one of my friends' businesses, and I enjoy that. So I would want to bring in some brand ambassadors. I want to say I have a few friends of mine that will love being a brand ambassador. Another thing I would love to do, and that would help promote my business, is pop-up shops. Going around to other universities, letting them know that there is MPHC organizations, there's clothing stores for them, and things of that nature. And my target market is MPHC orgs, the Divine Nine, which is Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma.
And Ashley, Jasmine, that'll be all of our time tonight. So we're going to move into Q&A. Judges, we have 3 minutes for Q&A.
Hey, Jasmine.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You had mentioned occasions, and there it is on the screen, occasions and university screen print being your competition. How do you plan on standing out from them?
How I plan on standing out from them, coming to the campus, letting them know, yes, we know about occasions and we know about screen print because they've been here for a minute, but the people who are coming in, new people, new like freshmen, high school coming up as freshmen, they don't know. So I would just mostly stay on campus, whether it's a pop-up shop on this campus, local campuses, the W, our Meridian campus, things of that nature.
And that is one good thing about living in a college town is every year you have a fresh group of people that don't have habits in places that they've been or things like that. So it works out real good in my businesses also. All
Okay.
right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jasmine, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for answering the question about occasions in university screen print. They are two kind of local businesses that specialize in this. I do have a couple of questions as related to marketing. Have you given any thought to, because we do this and I've been a part of some businesses that do this, have you thought about directly, just approaching these national Panhellenic councils on campus directly? I understand what you're talking about, doing some marketing on a broad spectrum, but I think what you're trying to do here with customer service, and that speaks to me a ton. And I have you thought about going right at them, just making people tell you no?
I've definitely thought about going directly at them and showing and giving my spiel and letting them know my side and hearing their side and what they want to see more of. So most definitely I've thought about that. Did I get that question all the way?
I'm sorry. Yes, you did. Absolutely. And just not that you would ever even think about taking advice from me, but the emphasis on customer service. We have a clothing shop here in Starkville that you could probably buy 98% of their clothes online. Their emphasis on customer service, they have been around for what seems like forever, and they all seem to do very well. So that I love that idea.
Thank you.
Judges, any more questions? Jasmine, great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we're going to have LaMichael with LTM Cheesecakes going to be presenting shortly. He's joining up soon. And LaMichael, whenever you're ready, your time will start.
Okay, my name is LaMichael Moss with LTM Cheesecakes and More, and I'm a senior at Mississippi State. I graduate this summer. The goal of LTM Cheesecakes is to provide a diverse option to the residents of Starkville or the West Point, the Golden Triangle area in particular. I noticed the problem was like when I was to go to Sweet Peppers Deli, and to take for example, and I would try to get me like a piece of cheesecake. It costs almost $7 to be, I don't know exactly, but it will be $7 just for one slice. And if you were to search around the area to try to get a cheesecake made, there would not be any area. The closest place would probably be in Noxubee at the bakery down there. I don't know the exact name of it. But that's the problem, because cheesecake is a diverse option because it's a unique taste that some people would like to try, and some don't even have never tasted before, so it would be a new thing to try. The solution, I came up with LTM Cheesecake, which was born. I started this in 2019. Well, not 2019. Oh God, in 2020, and I've been selling through the pandemic safely. I offer right now as I think 7 flavors, including plain, which is not shown in the pictures above. I use fresh ingredients for every cake. We offer the 7 flavors I said, which are caramel with pecan, is shown in the third, with the peanuts, but then we also just offer caramel. We have Oreo, turtle, toasted coconut with pecans and caramel, and strawberry. And newest one I've just made this year, or this month, will be Butterfinger. And I plan on adding more, commonly almost every 2 months or 3, to add more options. And it just brings a diverse option to the area, allow people to give more to have and when they different things to have at a party or something. My financial model, so far I've selling my cakes at $25 a piece, and the materials cost me $5.19, the labor $4.50, and the unit price, if I sell just one cake, is $15.31 that I would have made. And if I changed it and sold to wholesale grocery store, deduct $10 off of the price, and the labors and materials will be the same unless I bought in bulk. I don't have the exact calculations on if I bought in bulk, but I know the materials and labor will go down because I won't have to buy it again. I'll just have to charge myself the labor. And if I was to sell to wholesale at the price I am right now, I'll make $5.31 per cake. The year of 2020, I sold approximately $2,200 worth of cheesecake, and that's about almost 95 customers. I did a wedding for this year. I sold 10 cheesecakes for him, and that was almost like over $300 for that. And since the March 1st, I've sold $625 so far for this year. My sales and marketing strategy, as of right now, we use word to word the most. Then I use Facebook ads that are shown through via Instagram, Facebook around the area. I don't have a website at the moment, but I'm currently trying to find someone to make one for me so I can get my internet sales rolling. My target customers are the retail business, such as grocery stores, restaurants. Okay. And I'm currently reaching 50 people plus via word of mouth. My competitive advantage, competitors in the Golden Triangle, Sweet Pepper Delis, as I said, McAllister's. Proof Breaker is not really a competitor, but it is, because when I start to sell more things, it'll be a competitor. State Found Bakery, they are the one on campus. They sell donuts and stuff like that. They do have a cheesecake. I don't know the exact price, but I know they do have an option to get one. The difference between me separates me. I have perfected my craft, and so my cheesecake does not crack. Some people make cheesecakes in a water bath. I do not. My cheesecake still is made with water. Still has that water. That what's it called? Ooh, that's a bad word. My cheesecake is still used to make water. The water is still surrounding the cake, but it's not directly on it. Because when I did it the first time, my cheesecake became soggy and it was not good at all. But I've changed and put water in a separate pan to make a damp environment for the cake. And I take it out about 30 minutes. It only takes 30 minutes to make 12 hours in the freezer. And that is the reason why I have perfected my craft. Thank you for the opportunity for my business. Any questions, please?
Well, 3 minutes for questions.
You're doing this out of your house right now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that ain't easy.
It's not.
But you said you were doing internet sales too. Are you planning on, do you want brick and mortar before you kick your internet sales off, or would you rather get your internet side started up and then do brick and mortar?
I was trying to do either one of them, whichever one comes first. I'm trying to find someone in the process of making me a website so I can get my name out there, so I can build my reputation. So when I do get a brick and mortar store, I will have more customers, because I've reached people via Instagram, but they just, some people are not ready to come, people that bake goods out of the house because they don't know how clean your stuff you are and all that. They just want to, if in brick and mortar, you have codes and stuff that you have to uphold to. It's like a higher standard.
Right. And right now, selling out of your house, you can't sell to a third party. You have to sell.
Yeah, via customers. I can't sell to a grocery store yet.
Okay. And so getting a brick and mortar would afford you to be able to get your internet business really kicked off.
Yes, sir.
So to other people to be able to sell for you. Your wholesale
Yes,
business.
sir.
Okay.
LaMichael, how are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm excellent. Where is my sample of cheesecake to try?
And actually, I was supposed to show this before my time ran out. I actually have a cheesecake. Can they see it? Hold on. I actually brought a cheesecake. I don't know if you can really see it good, but I did bring a cheesecake. It's caramel and pecan. The people that's here, I wish you guys were here to taste it. The people here are going to taste it.
I'll be right over, okay? I do have a question about your labor costs. You said per cake, your labor costs are $4.50.
Because, okay, I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. Please go ahead.
So, okay, I understand that's like kind of low. So what I charge myself the labor to make the cake, not while it's in the freezer of the 12 hours. So it only takes 30 minutes to make. And so if I charge $10 an hour to the person, whoever's in the kitchen at the time making the cake, I just did $10 an hour times 30 minutes, and I just got $4.50. But if I had to get a chef, which I plan on doing in the near future, if I was to get a brick and mortar building, it'll have to go up more, of course.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions, judges? All right. Thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right. And while our team here starts chowing down on some cheesecake, we're going to switch out to our next presenter, made by Ashley Mack. So Ashley, when we get changed over here, we'll get started back in just a moment. Okay, and Ashley, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Usually I have to do the first click. Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Over the next 5 minutes, I hope to walk you through this beautiful world of custom decorated sugar cookies, or as I like to call them, edible pieces of art. My name is Ashley McLemore, and this is Made by Ashley Mack. So typically when we think about serving desserts at events or parties, we think of cake. And as a person that has a pretty big sweet tooth, I understand that, but there are problems that come into this realm. Now, this that I am introducing serves as a substitute and a complement to your traditional cake. It is a premium product made with quality ingredients. It is 100% customizable. It fits any event from a wedding to a baby shower and a job announcement. And in the world of COVID, where we are being more conscientious of the way that things are served, it is already pre-packaged and pre-portioned, which is wonderful for things such as drive-through events. Now, this is not your average cookie. These are accessories used to elevate parties, corporate events, and special occasions. Currently, I am making these accessories in my apartment here and serving the Starkville and Golden Triangle area. Now, how does a person go about ordering a dozen cookies? Well, they place an inquiry on my website, and this person fills out details about their event, such as the date, the type of event. And I will respond to that email in less than 48 hours. We will confirm the details. And in this response, I am notified of the complexity of design that this customer would like. So that's why I have 3 different tiers. And this is solely priced upon the complexity of design. Once we nail those down, I make the cookies and they pick them up. Now let's dive into the financials. I've started making decorated sugar cookies over the pandemic and sold my first batch in December at the holiday bazaar hosted by the partnership. Since then, I've made a little over $1,000, and you can see on this pie chart that cookies make up about 60% of that portion because I do offer other things as well. Now, just looking at the revenue really quickly, we see this is a dozen cookies for $46. So that's that second tier, which is the most popular. For ingredients, packaging, and labor, that's what I have here. And then that brings out a gross profit of just under $20, which is about a 43% profit margin. The great thing about this is that the complexity of design does not always increase the time that it takes to make this. So once I can increase my skill, I'm able to charge more per cookie. Now, moving right along to the marketing, I'm utilizing these 3 forms of marketing in order to capture customers. So as I mentioned before, I did kick off at the Holiday Bazaar in December, and I plan to continue to do face-to-face events to meet my customers, to help ease any stress that they have about trusting a college student that bakes in her home and build that loyalty. I also have utilized free Facebook groups for this area, such as Starkville Strong, to advertise, and that has worked and been pretty profitable. And next, I have utilized Instagram as well and promoted posts in order to get the word out there. Now, I've created an email list for my current customers, and I have been fortunate to have a couple repeat customers already. The target audience, I would say one of the biggest is young moms. At the bazaar, I was able to meet customers, and there I learned that most were there to buy cookies for their children. So paint your own cookies were my biggest sale for the Christmas season. Next is event planners. This is because this is a nice segue into the wedding industry, and that could be a great relationship to develop. Lastly is small businesses such as realtors and photographers. This is an audience that I would like to target in order to create a consistent stream of income. Now, when we look at the competition, there is no way that I will be able to have lower prices than Walmart. And there are home bakers here that already have a solid and loyal customer base. However, my competitive advantage is that I have an original recipe that I made myself with weeks of testing, and although it took some time, these cookies not only look good, they taste good too. There is an artistic component to this as well. I know that there's not a dollar value that can be placed on that, but it does exist. And then these are quality ingredients that are put into each and every cookie. Now, I have 3 primary ways in which I hope to grow, and that is increasing the decorating skill, as I mentioned before, partnering with small businesses, and then lastly, creating resources for other cookie artists. This would allow me to create a revenue stream that is completely online and not just limited to the area in which I live. Thank you all for listening, and now I'd like to open it up for questions.
Okay, and 3 minutes for questions.
Yeah, Ashley, great job.
Thank you.
What have you I guess thought about or had any opportunities to work with, organizations or brands at this point yet, or is that something you've kind of thought about? Yes.
So right now, I've just worked with one photographer, and that was more of an exchange because this was also a starting business. But I know that we do have plans to move forward in the future. So I made a logo cookie for him to photograph, and then in return, he took a few pictures for my website.
That's great.
Judges, other questions? Okay, Ashley, thank you very much. Good
Thank you.
job. All right, folks, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back in just a few minutes with our next presenter. Hang on tight. You're going to want to hang around and see what happens next. Also, don't forget, we have the People's Choice. The link is now in the video description. Be sure to go to YouTube and read the description. You can click the link for voting on your favorite pitch tonight. It's going to be a good one. See you soon. Okay, folks, welcome back to the Brick and Mortar Division of Startup Summit 2021. We're going to continue with 3 more pitches tonight. Next up, we're going to have Alyssa joining us here shortly. Alyssa, when you're ready. Oh, looks like her feed may have cut out there. Looks like we may have lost Alyssa's feed. Jordan, would you like to go next?
Yes, sir. Give me one moment, please.
Sure, no problem.
One second. Madison. Can you see the presentation now?
We don't have the presentation yet. We just have your video feed there.
Okay, I was trying to present it. May you come back to me?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got Alyssa back here.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Can you see my screen from your end?
We sure can.
All right, great.
And whenever you're ready, take it away.
Hey. So my name is Alyssa Olive. I am a lifestyle change enthusiast because of my personal experiences. And just to let you know, I am a graduate of Millsaps College. I got my degree in business administration. And that is what helps me to lead this business since I am the only member on my team, essentially. And so you saw the name of the business looks like my last name, but it's pronounced Alive because everything that we offer, and I do mean everything that we offer, is geared toward helping you improve your quality of life. So every business has a problem that they're trying to help people solve. Ours is basically nutrition and helping people make it throughout, live their life to the highest quality that they can. And you feel and perform your best when you are fueling your body in the way that you should. Unfortunately, only 8% of adults meet the daily fruit intake recommendation, which is only about 2 cups, which is not much at all. And we eat a lot. So to think of out of 100%, only 8%, that's really sad. And even worse than that, only 6.2% meet the vegetable intake recommendation. So our solution is to provide a healthy option for people in rural areas. We are located in central Mississippi in Kosciuszko. It's a very small town. We are not a food desert, but when it comes to healthy options, it is very close to that. So what we want to do is change people's lifestyles. If you think about it, it's about 1 in 10 people who get the intake that they need. And so we think of it as like a domino effect. These two columns that are turned over are the people who are getting the intake that they need to fuel their bodies to be able to perform, whether that's in school, athletics, whatever. And so let's say if you were influenced by somebody and you started eating healthier, before your friends and family were making it hard for you to make healthier choices. But if some of them were influenced by things that we could offer, then you wouldn't have that issue anymore. And then maybe a few more people got influenced. Then somebody like one of your coworkers, which they may not have had access to good quality nutritious options like people in Kosciuszko. We are actually within a 60-mile radius of any other place similar to us. So that solves the problem for that person. Or even just a few more people, maybe your kids' teammates. Let's say they're in a soccer league. They only have access to what their parents provide them. Say before their games, they're eating a Wendy's 4 for $4. If you and your kid come out there with something healthier, maybe you could influence them to do better also. And then it just goes on and on. Anybody you could think of. So we sell cold pressed juice. It's fruit and vegetable juice. It has no additives, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. It's only made from produce. And it actually strips fruit and vegetables of the insoluble fiber, so your body's able to absorb the nutrition from that produce instantly because it's not having to work to digest it. It's going to increase your energy levels. It improves your metabolism. It allows your body to easily digest whatever else you might have later in the day. It's going to help balance your hormones, control blood sugar, and it really detoxes the body, especially if you do only juice a day. And it's also going to help reduce inflammation depending on the ingredients in each juice. But we don't just sell juice, we also offer sea moss gel, and this is what I call nature's vitamin. Your body is made up of 102 minerals, and sea moss gel contains 92 of those. And all you have to do is take a spoonful every day. Here are some of the main benefits of it. It's really rich in iodine, so it helps fight anemia. It promotes healthy hair and skin and nails. It improves circulation. The biggest thing it's done for me in my life is boost my energy and emotional health. And it also helps with your immunity. I don't have a spleen, and it's been really important for me to find natural ways of protecting myself during the pandemic, and this has been amazing. Knock on wood, I have not had any issues with COVID since this all started. I take my sea moss gel faithfully. So you're wondering how you sell these products? We started in July of this past year. We started at pop-up shops, then we moved on to selling at a farmer's market every week. We would do local delivery in Starkville throughout the week. And now we have a storefront. We actually just passed our inspection today. And marketing alive, we don't just sit back and wait for customers to come to us. I create strategic partnerships with anyone who's willing. I go to speak at local schools. I just went to our junior high last week. Gyms and trainers. I'm gonna have, we have a loyalty program through our Square Register for people from our local gyms or really any customers to come back routinely. We have plans for them for our smoothies that we also offer. They're made of whole foods only to help them decide what they might need before or after a workout to make them make the healthiest choices for whatever goals they have for their body. Community groups, we've actually, even though our storefront is not officially open for selling juices, I've had the garden club come and host meetings there, and I'm gonna have other groups that could benefit from a partnership with us, have events or small meetings there after hours as well. And of course, teams like athletic, baseball, football, dance groups, gymnastics, all the above, having strategic partnerships with them as well. I'm gonna have, I have a yoga instructor who's planning on hosting classes in our storefront regularly. So anything that makes sense, we're very open to.
Okay, and that will have to be all of our time. So Alyssa, we'll go into 3 minutes of Q&A with our judges now.
Alyssa?
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. I had a couple of questions about numbers. You said that you have been doing sales. Do you have sales numbers, maybe over like the past year of operation, that kind of
Yes.
thing?
So when we were selling at the farmer's market, which I'm not selling right now just because we're trying to get the storefront ready, we were selling about 400 or 500 bottles every weekend. And that was just going to the farmer's market one day. So there was a sales for one day. And it was consistent every week. We would pretty much sell out.
What about your net profit numbers?
I do not have those handy.
Okay, no problem. Just for me wanting to know. And I apologize, you may have said your storefront is in Kosciuszko?
Yes, but just to give you an idea, our juices are at a 30% margin, if that
Awesome.
matters.
Great, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. I would love to answer more questions if y'all have any. I'm really excited about answering questions.
Well, BJ asked my question, so trying to think of something else to ask you.
I know I didn't cover everything.
So I have a question. And again, maybe I missed it. That's the glorious part of remote. It's hard to keep it all straight. But do you feel like at some point soon you'll have to expand and kind of have like a packaging facility help you?
I actually had a gas station in Kosciuszko want to sell the juices there, but I'm not really interested in being a manufacturer. What I love the most is being able to talk to people one-on-one, and that's another thing about Alive. People don't just come in and get drinks. I talk to them about their goals or what they want to do because I'm interested in a lifestyle change for people.
Yeah.
So my goal is not to have juices in stores. I really want to be able to talk to customers face to face and help them with whatever they want. And also manufacturing involves pasteurizing juice, and I don't ever plan on processing my products.
Okay, that's.
I would be interested in expanding to more retail stores and other locations.
Yeah, so I actually helped launch a beverage that's in about 35,000 stores in Europe, and it's pretty complicated. So I can respect your point of view of wanting to kind of strike a balance between the person or the human connection and the product.
Thank you.
100%. It's a lot. Thanks.
All right, and that'll have to be all the time we have for questions, unless there are any others from the judges there. Looks like they all have their answers. Great job, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, we're going to move over to Jordan with Capsule Hall. Jordan, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Miss Madison, are you ready?
I'm getting it loaded up right now.
Okay, thank you.
While we're getting it loaded up, folks that are joining us online, if you haven't realized, we've been broadcasting live from our Entrepreneurship Center here in McCool Hall in Starkville, Mississippi. Over 100 startup teams come through the program every year and work on their ideas to get them off the ground. Several of those have gone on and gotten multi-million-dollar valuations and are headquartered here in Starkville, Mississippi. So it's while we can't host you in person, it's great to be able to show off the space where lots of students are getting their start and being inspired by you, helping them get their launch. So thank you for your support on that.
Okay, my business idea is the Capsule Hall. I'm the only person who is working on this. And the Capsule Hall is just a place for busy students who are not able to get enough rest. So when they are busy and waiting for classes, they're able to get their rest. Ms. Madison, may you go to the next one? Okay, the problem they have recently came up with within our country is that a lot of us are lacking sleep. And the lack of sleep leads to emotional and academic stress, drowsy driving, and risk-taking behaviors such as depression. So far, the only solution is for students to try and make up their lack of sleep on the weekends. But however, studies have shown that it have actually caused it to be worse. You may go to the next slide. My solution to Castle Hall is a quiet area where students can go and recover their lack of sleep, their lack of rest on the next day between classes and between their studies. You can go to the next. My plan is to get funds to build a building between the union and the library because it is the most populated area on campus, and students can either schedule or do walk-ins and they can also schedule for 1 to 2 hours rest. However, with walk-ins, you can also risk the best option for you to be unavailable. You might go next. How I thought about the idea that I thought of for students to pay is they pay for the service through their tuition. So students, so the approximate cost for this will be between $2,000 to $3,000 per semester, and it will be added to their tuition. You may go to the next. As profits increases, I hope to plan add-ons that will also help decrease stress and promote mental health. You may go to next. So far, the competition is maybe just like if students are living on campus or their friends, and for students who stay off campus, their apartment is walking distance, and students who may not even mind sleeping in their car or other places. But however, my advantage is that it is more quiet and there's no need to wait on a friend to get in the place. And when you really think of it, there is actually no other ideal as a place to rest. So I also believe that that it would wipe out all the other small minors competition advantage. You may go to next. My inspiration came from these hotels that started off in Japan. Japan is like one of the most countries that lacks sleep because they're always working. So they have like these hotels to where you basically just have like your bed and you can rest in between times. So I got my inspiration from them so students can get their rest. This is the end of my presentation.
Okay, nice job. And we have 3 minutes for Q&A.
Hey, Jordan, how are you?
I'm good, you?
I'm good. You said you were going to build on campus. You wanted to build over between the library and the union, the library and the union. Are you planning on partnering with the school?
Yes, sir. That is my desire, to partner with the school.
And that's how you do. That's how it'd be loaded, be added to tuition also.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jordan, how are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm excellent. Thank you. Personally, I love the concept of getting some quiet rest. So I like this idea.
Thank you.
Where did this $2,000 to $3,000 per semester, where did that number come from?
Well, I did a simple Google on the average cost of how much the Pods Hotel in Japan, how much they're charged, and they are charged $20 to $30 per night. So by then I had multiplied it by 5 because I also planned that it would be closed on the weekends, or else we have like major exams. So I just did it by day, by the amount of days that we usually have each semester. As it's just an approximate.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question. When it comes to like scaling this out, what's your vision for how you could, maybe take it to other campuses or
Well,
expand the service?
right now I have thought about because this is something new and maybe not everyone is quite accepting to it. I wanted to continue doing some research and maybe even conduct my own research for with MSU students. And then a friend had told me this idea of maybe like getting like a small bus. Then as I get research, we would spread it from different campuses by building different buildings.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, judges, any more questions? Jordan, great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, finally, our last pitch tonight is going to come from Josh. Josh is going to get set up here, and we'll switch over in just a moment. And Josh, whenever you're ready, feel free to take it away.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Josh Heyman. I am a freshman undergraduate and I am a major in business administration and a minor in entrepreneurship. And this is Insert Coin Arcade. All right, so before we begin, I'd just like to mention everything you see here as far as like charts and graphs are the results from a survey I conducted last semester in the fall. Out of the 82 responses I got, 70% of these people live in the Virginia Beach area. So this is all very critical information to what I'm about to show you. So start us off, top left chart, you'll see that 41.5% of people who took the survey said that entertainment centers in their area sometimes offer enough variety, and 35.4% said that they don't. So we'll see that there's a lot of room for growth as far as variety and entertainment. Bottom left, we can see that 98.8% of people always go to somewhere with entertainment and food. So we can see variety is important and food is just important. On the right chart, this is just pricing of entertainment. Only 70 people took this one. You can see 30 people said it's too expensive. We have 24 saying fair, 16 saying good. So we have a lot of room to balance this chart out and make that good price rise. So what's the solution? My solution is just to have a modern arcade with a retro twist, retro games and themes, a diner and a bar. I'll mention that later a little bit better. And having it moderately priced, but it's going to be worth that value. Now, how is this all going to work? I want to have 35 to 40 arcade games, 10 to 15 of them being retro games, maybe 20 of them. Having a diner and a bar with a separate atmosphere. That separate atmosphere is really important to me just to kind of separate the two. Obviously, card system, they're really easy to use, and having people lug around buckets of tickets and coins just isn't really necessary. Unfortunately, retro games, they're just really old, so card systems really can't be implemented. So those will just be coins. All right, so financials, that's kind of the important thing here. So on the left, you'll see variable and fixed costs here. The biggest things for me, arcade machines being around 85,000. And also something to mention, employee pay right now, minimum wage is $9.75 an hour. In July 2024, that'll raise to about 14 an hour in the Virginia Beach area. That leaves our total startup cost to be around 250,000, give or take. That's leaving a little bit of flexibility as far as prices they may have missed or any inflations in pricing. On the right graph chart here, you'll see revenue per month. Obviously, green and red. Red is stuff I'm gonna be paying per month. Green is what I'd be probably making. That leaves our total to be around 22,000 a month, give or take. So sales and marketing, most important thing in the top left, age range. We have 29.3% of people in the 36 to 45 age range and 30.5 in the 18-25 age range. That's really the primary target audience here. But obviously arcades bring in a very diverse age group, so we'll have plenty of people. Obviously, like I said, I want the home to be in Virginia Beach. It's a very growing city, it's modernizing. There's a lot of opportunity here, and that's the important thing. As far as marketing goes, a website is extremely important to have. Flyers, posters around the beach, that'll get a lot of people. And, beach, you can maybe put a plane with a banner, that'd be kind of fun. One of the more exciting things that I thought of or was mentioned to, having gaming competitions where people can win prizes, and that'll bring a lot of extra publicity in. So the big competitive advantage here is retro. Obviously, that's something you don't really see very often in arcades anymore. So it's different, it's new, and it'll appeal to a very large age group, which hopefully that'll help out a lot. So finally, we see the future goals here. I would like a large laser tag arena, interactive glow-in-the-dark mini golf, an immersive virtual reality room. Obviously, these things can't be implemented now because they're just too expensive to put in right away. But I'm hoping I will get to that point eventually. And that is it. Thank you.
Okay, and 3 minutes for Q&A starts now.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So who do you think your competition is going to be in here with these?
So in the Virginia Beach area, there's a lot of small businesses that have been there for a while. From the survey I also conducted, they said that they've been there for a while. They're a little bit overpriced, but they're also really old. And the people said they kind of wanted something new. Outside of that, there's like one or two Dave & Buster's. That's basically going to be the main thing outside of the small local businesses there. So, yeah.
And I'm not real familiar with Dave & Buster's. Are they a family atmosphere, or is it more geared towards adults?
I would say it's family atmosphere. They do have a bar there and an eating area as well. But I would say it's geared towards family atmosphere for sure.
So you got to compete with the family atmosphere with them too.
Yes.
All right. Thanks.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. I don't want to beleaguer this competition point, but I do want to dig a little bit deeper here. And the reason why is because I like this idea, and I really hope that you're very successful with it. I hope that you're able to take it and run with it. Just a quick Google search I did here while you and Cameron were talking, and it pulled up 70, I don't know, it could be wrong. Obviously, it's just Google, 74 arcades in the Virginia Beach area. And a couple of Dave & Buster's, as you said, that kind of thing, places that actually already have established a bar with a place to do arcade games. And look, I have two small children. I can't tell you the number of times we go on vacation and my kids want to hit the arcade, and I definitely want to hit the bar. Okay. So I think it's a great product out there. Okay. But what really is, you said retro games, location wise, are you looking to differentiate yourself marketing wise? Is there Is there a coolness factor that you're going for? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So like I said, the retro theme is like what puts me separately from the rest. You don't really get to see many retro games anymore of like those old games and those old arcades. Nowadays, Dave & Buster's really goes for that modern feel, which is great. It works very well for them. But I'm also trying to get to that point where I also have laser tag, mini golf, like offering a lot of different options for people. And I'm hoping that, you know, the retro themes, like I want it to be themed retro also in the inside with, you know, the retro movies, music, games. I'm hoping basically that's just my edge. And that's what I'm hoping will set me aside from Dave & Buster's and everyone else that's there.
A lot of momentum with that right now. Ready Player One, you know, being very successful, that kind of thing. There seems to be a good bit of momentum. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Josh, thank you. That will be all the time for questions. Folks, we are going to now switch gears and move out into the breakout rooms while our judges deliberate on the top prizes for tonight. So they have the tough task of taking these great pitches and figuring out 1, 2, and 3. First place tonight will win $2,500. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $500. And don't forget, you, the audience, choose our People's Choice Award and who walks away with $250 as well. The voting for People's Choice will close at 7:05 in just 4 minutes. So be sure to go on YouTube, check the description, click the link, and vote for your favorite pitch tonight. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes with tonight's winners. See you soon. All right, folks, welcome back. We have just finished judges' deliberation on the Brick and Mortar Division. Those of you who are joining from the audience for our new Product 3 Division, don't worry, we're going to get started in just a moment. But before we do that, we have to finish announcing the winners of the Brick and Mortar Division. Our judges just had a very tough time deliberating on some fantastic pitches, but of course, we have to choose 3 winners. Before we do so, I want to give the judges an opportunity to share a little bit of feedback of what they saw tonight. Boyd, would you like to kick us off with some feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Eric. Just want to say thank you to all the people that gave pitches tonight. They were incredible. Lots of enthusiasm, some really amazing ideas. You guys really did a great job tonight. Thank you.
All right, Cameron, how about your thoughts?
Now, I'm muted again.
Cameron, you're muted, unfortunately.
There, is that better?
Yep, we got you.
All right, y'all. Everybody did a great job. Really appreciate everybody's pitch. It was a very hard decision. We had to deliberate over it for several minutes to finally pick out a winner, and it was very close. But I just appreciate y'all allowing me to be part of this.
Neil, your thoughts?
I agree. Everyone's energy is just so inspiring. And I was telling the other judges and stuff, like, I didn't sell anything in college. I just paid money. So, many of you already have significant sales and traction, and you should all be proud of where you're at in your respective journey. It's a process, and it's not always overnight. So just be really in a position to celebrate what you've all accomplished.
All right, thank you, judges. One final shout out to our sponsors tonight, Banktel Systems, Reed Food Technology, and Industry Services Co. These people make this competition possible, and it's possible to support the entrepreneurs. Folks, remember, this is a fun competition. The picking the winners is just part of the game. But remember, just from pitching tonight, you're already one step ahead of your peers and a winner. And remember, the real winners are the folks that wake up tomorrow morning and actually go work on the business. So don't let tonight discourage you if you're not in the top 3. It's always the winner is chosen by the market, and that requires you to get out and work. So without further ado, Neil is going to announce our People's Choice winner tonight. I understand we had over 937 total votes, which is super cool. Neil, who's getting the award?
Well, the award for People's Choice is going to LTM, Cheesecakes, and More. So congratulations.
Congratulations. And Neil, I believe you have our 3rd place winner tonight as well.
So again, there were so many great pitches. Everybody truly is a winner. And I don't say that lightheartedly. I've never won a pitch competition in my whole life. So 3rd place goes to JT Greek Shop. Amazing pitch. Congratulations again.
Awesome. Congratulations. Moving on to 2nd place with a $1,000 cash prize. Boyd, who's taking that home tonight?
So Eric, for 2nd place, LTM Cheesecakes and More.
Right.
Great pitch. We felt like it was a great idea. Sales numbers were really good. And again, to back up what Neil said, to be able to put numbers out when you're in college really is a tremendous thing. Everybody made great pitches tonight. It was really tough choices. Great job, LaMichael.
Congratulations. And finally, moving on to our grand prize, $2,500. And this participant will move on to our final Banktel competition tomorrow. Cameron, who's taking it home?
All right. Well, the winner is Olive. Congratulations, Olive.
All right. Congratulations, Alyssa. Well done. To all of our presenters and all of you tuning in from the audience, thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you'll stick around. We're starting the new Product 3 division in just a few moments. You won't want to miss it. These are some of the most mature and advanced startups here at Mississippi State University in the Entrepreneurship Center. Stick with us. We'll start that shortly. All right, new product judges, I'm going to move you all into the breakout room and we'll dive in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, joining us live online, welcome back to night 4 of Startup Summit 2021. We're broadcasting from the global headquarters of the Mississippi State University Entrepreneurship Center. We have over 100 student teams each year that come through the program and work on new startup companies. Tonight, we have our top division, new product 3. These are some of our most mature companies coming through the program that have a product or a service either at the point of going into market or very close. So it's going to be a tough night for our judges. Teams will have 5 minutes to present and 3 minutes for Q&A. Before we get started with pitches, though, let's hear from our judges. We'll start with Mr. John Walters. Welcome tonight, John. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Eric, and thanks again for putting on this great event. It's very exciting. It was part of Product 1 on Tuesday night and saw some great pitches. Looking forward to additional ones tonight. My background is a software entrepreneur coming out of Mississippi State with an MBA and started my own company, Periscope Holdings software company back in 1999. And we do procurement software for state and local governments. I've worked with a number of startups in various phases, and I'm happy to be part of the eCenter Advisory Board where I get to hear pitches on a monthly basis. So looking forward to it tonight.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you joining. Mr. Lee Harris is joining us too, another Entrepreneurship Center Advisory Board member. Lee, welcome.
Thank you very much, Eric. I'm glad to be here and really looking forward to tonight's presentations. I was in earlier this week and got to see some presentations. I'm the former regional chief financial officer for both the steel and scrap metal industries. I've worked with entrepreneurs all my entire career, and some of those who later on were acquired by some major corporations. So it's great to see these young people come in here with these ideas, and really it's very intriguing. I love what y'all are doing at the Entrepreneurship Center.
Thank you, Lee. Next up, we have Mr. Jason Henderson. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me again. I was on with Lee earlier in the week judging, saw some great startups and some very young entrepreneurs. I'm in the risk management and commercial insurance industry. I'm not too far behind some of these students. I've been in this business about 22 years, but we launched our own firm this summer will be 3 years ago. So we had to go through a lot of what they're going through, to get funding, to secure our office and our business plan and that whole sort of jazz. So looking forward to some great pitches tonight and see what happens.
Thank you, Jason. And rounding out our expert panel tonight, we have Mr. Stephen Bueller. Stephen, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Eric, and thank you for all that you do for the eCenter and for all of these students. My background is in a variety of things, but particularly in the investment field. Have worked for a number of firms, very large, spanning the private equity, venture capital, real estate, and hedge fund space. And now I'm based in Nashville, Tennessee, doing the same for myself.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen, and all of our judges for joining us tonight. These folks volunteer their time. Thank you so much for your support. Before we get started in our first presentation, just a reminder, we have a People's Choice Award where you, the audience, choose who wins a $250 cash prize. On the YouTube description, be sure to scroll down in there and find the link and vote for your favorite team tonight. I think you all have some good choices to choose from. Also tonight, we want to thank our sponsors that make this possible. BankTel Systems out of Columbus, Reed Food Technology based out of Jackson, and Industry Services Co. in Alabama for sponsoring tonight's competition and all the competitions this week. We'll give away over $30,000 in cash prizes to aspiring Mississippi entrepreneurs, and this is made possible by them and other private donors who support entrepreneurship in Mississippi. Thank you all. Without further ado, we're going to start our first pitch. Mr. Clay Spalding with Aerostrip is loading up now, and look forward to hearing your pitch, Clay.
Okay. Hey everybody, my name is Clay Spalding, and today I'll be telling you about my product, Aerostrip. So the problem I want to address today is the issue of visibility when driving in the rain. Right now, there's about 6 million car accidents per year in the US, and about a quarter of these are due to poor driver visibility and precipitous conditions alone. And we've all been there. You're driving in the rain, your windshield wipers are on, and still with the rain spatter on the windshield, it's hard to see through. So the solution to this problem is the AeroStrip, a product I came up with, which is currently on its third design iteration, which you're seeing right now. It's about 12 inches in length, 3 inches in width, and about an inch tall. And what it does is it mounts on the hood of your car in front of the windshield, and it accelerates the air in a way which diverts rain away from your windshield and out of your line of sight. So here's a picture of it mounted on the car directly in front of the driver, as would be expected. And the way it works is as air travels over it, it creates what's called a vortex, which is just a swirling mass of air, kind of like a cyclone or a tornado, obviously much calmer. And as this vortex progresses over the windshield, what it does is it creates a pressure gradient, which accelerates the airflow over the windshield, bringing up and over the raindrops away out of your line of sight. And so you may be wondering how we went about testing this. As it turns out, in Starkville, you can't always plan your testing days around when it's going to rain here. So what we did is we created our own rain. We stood on the side of a road, had a hose, sprayed it over the car, and drove through it, as you can see here. And that moment right there, as the raindrops impact the windshield, is what we're looking for. So we take a still of that video, look at the impact zone, which is right behind where the AeroStrip is mounted. And that's what you're seeing here in the circled region. And what we're looking for is the saturation of the raindrops on the shield, or the distribution of raindrops. And in the circled area, right behind the AeroStrip where the driver's line of sight is, it's kind of hard to tell with the photo and lighting, but there's a smaller distribution of raindrops in that area compared to the rest of the windshield, giving the driver a clearer line of sight. Now, this photo right here is from the second design iteration of AeroStrip, and this was in a light mist test that we did. In the left photo with the AeroStrip, you can see there's little to no raindrops present on the windshield. And on the right-hand side of the windshield where there's no AeroStrip, you can see there's clearly a lot more raindrops and lower visibility for the driver. So regarding the financials, we plan to distribute this in 2 different pipelines. The first one is commercial or directly to the consumer. And that would be about $25 per unit. And with manufacturing, shipping, packaging, and whatnot, that comes out to about 74% profit margin. And then with wholesale, marketing directly to third-party distributors in bulk, it would be cheaper, $15 per unit, but it still gives us a good 67% profit margin. And these margins are pretty high, mainly because we plan on manufacturing through injection molding, which brings down the unit cost pretty significantly for us. Regarding sales and marketing, the point we really want to try to hit home with this product is the safety benefit that it gives to you, the driver, as well as everyone else on the road with you. Rain is a nuisance to drive in, and visibility is key. And therefore, we want to aim this at everyday drivers like you and I, people who drive on the highway, but also people who drive for a living, Uber drivers, bus drivers, truck drivers, you name it. And eventually, we'd love to move to the automotive manufacturing market as well, where they can hopefully one day implement this into the actual design of the hood of the car potentially. And then finally, our competitive advantage, there's not a lot of other companies out there doing what we're doing, if at all, that we could find. The closest thing that I could find was Rain-X. And as you probably know, it's a chemical you put on your windshield that helps to divert drops off the windshield, whereas AeroStrip helps prevent the raindrops from reaching the windshield in the first place. McLaren, the car company, is also working on a similar technology to be implemented into their automobiles. However, unless you plan on buying a McLaren anytime soon, you probably won't have that technology to yourself. Other than that, that's all. Thank you.
Nice job, Clay. And we have 3 minutes for Q&A.
Clay, my name's Lee Harris. The question I have is, as far as from a speed standpoint, I could see going down the highway, you know, that vortex being created, you know, with a lot more speed, you know, and I could see lifting the drops off. What about though in a city, you know, cityscape, slow speed, things of that nature, where that vortex, I would think would be as powerful. What
Absolutely.
were the results?
Yeah, so the tests, so you can probably see here on my speedometer, I'm going about 50 in this shot. And that's what all of our tests were done at, was at 50 miles an hour. And I also did CFD, which is computational fluid dynamics, which is a software program where you can essentially do online wind tunnel tests. And it showed effective above about 45 miles an hour. And so really it's meant for highway driving. You know, you wouldn't really want to use this as much in the city. Granted, on open roads, it's great for 45 and 50, but it's generally more effective for highway speeds 50 and up, which is particularly good for, you know, people who drive for a living, like bus or truck drivers.
If I knew it was going to rain today, you know, yesterday was a great example, and I knew I was going to be out on the highways, is it something I can attach and then remove, or is it something that's permanently mounted?
No, absolutely. Yeah. So the current design of it is it has a magnetic base, and since hoods are generally metal, it just puts right on your hood. So it's removable whenever you want it there, or and take it off whenever you don't.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have you started looking at patents and patentability of this?
I have, yes, sir. So far, there haven't been any patented technologies that I could find that interfere directly with this. And actually, I plan to get a provisional patent, hopefully within the next year and a half. The main thing that's been holding me back from sending that initial patent application is the design iterations that I'm going through. So as I mentioned, I'm on the 3rd iteration now. And the reason we're changing so much is because we're trying to optimize it so that it's as small as possible and as effective as possible. So I want to make sure it's at its best performance before I go into the work of creating a patent for it.
Okay.
And Clay,
Hey, Clay, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Jason. So Clay, have you identified exactly where you're going to do the manufacturing? And is that incorporated into your cost of goods that you showed us?
No, sir, not quite yet. I talked with a Mississippi-based manufacturing consultant about a year ago, actually. But that was mainly just talking about mold costs and what the kind of the baseline cost for something like that. I haven't directly looked into locations for manufacturing, but that would definitely be the next step after coming on a solidified design iteration.
Jason, your question will have to be the last one.
Yeah, real quick. And I'm sure you've researched this, Clay. Are there any kind of like governmental regulations or approval, like the transportation, highway, you know, whatever that organization is that you'll have to talk to get something like this approved? Any kind of hurdles like that you'll have to overcome?
So this is technically considered a third-party automotive adhering product. That's not the exact wording, but basically it's pretty much under the same rules and regulations as a magnet sticker that you put on your car, from what I could tell. But obviously, as I get into the further phases of finalizing a design and going into the patent process, I plan to actually meet with a representative from the travel agency and talk further about that. But from what I could tell, it follows the same guidelines as magnetic stick-ons.
Okay.
Eric, if I may, just one follow-up. Clay, are you saying you're about a year and a half, 2 years out? Is that what would you say your time frame wise?
It's hard to tell right now. So the testing video that you saw was actually from last weekend. I've been able to put in a lot more testing recently because it's my senior year and I'm having less workload. But at this rate, I'd say it's closer to 6 months to finalize the design. And then I was just giving the year and a half as more of a cushion. But I'd say it's hard to say from this point.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Clay, thank you. Appreciate your pitch.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clay.
Next up, we're going to have the team from Answers Analytics join us. And I'm to our judges, I'm posting the lineup in our chat window now, so you have that handy. So team from Answers, whenever you're ready, feel free to share your slides.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Whenever you're ready, you'll have 5 minutes to pitch.
All right, we are Answers Analytics, and we are the only real-time in-game data analysis tool for football. So right now, currently, when you're watching a football game, up in the press box for each team, they have somebody who's manually going through and handwriting what they're seeing down on the field. So literally they have a piece of paper in front of them set up like this, and they're writing it down. And this comes as a surprise to a lot of people because of all the technology that they're seeing with football data analysis, especially like pro football focus. But the NCAA and professional teams have a rule that they cannot have any internet in the press box. And so all other existing competition is actually using, they utilize internet and cloud computing. And so what we did is we were building a product that eliminates this process and can actually give back real data analysis and feedback to coaches to help aid them in their play calling and decision making. So what you're looking at right now is the prototype. And this was an Excel sheet that took over 3 years to build by a coach that was here at Mississippi State. And he used it under Zach Arnett. And Zach Arnett, our defensive coordinator here, loved it so much that he became a board member for us here at Answers because he utilized this tool so much throughout the season. And so how it works is the field is just like a spreadsheet. You're typing in data, except a lot of the fields are auto-populated and are created off of your own coaching terms. Because a lot of the other tools out there, again, like Pro Football Focus, they'll say what success rates are on first down or for third and short, etc. But those are that data analysis is not in the coach's terms. And so what we do is we give that customization to the coaches to define what they consider a win or a loss for a play and what they even consider what third and short really is. Because for one coach, it might be 3rd and 1. For another coach, it might be 3rd and 2. So we give all of that customization to the coaches while using this tool. And so here's some pictures of just kind of the different features that we offer and where our minimum viable product is. And so here's an example of actually a real data that we've used from last year, our Kentucky game. And so you can see that spreadsheet, all the data that's input, and you're getting these charts out. And so, for example, if you're looking at the back set, coaches can see in real time, if they come out in a gun far back set, they are 4 times more likely to pass than they are to run. And so they can get this data in real time, communicate it down to the field via headset, and get that information related to their players and adjust their play calling based off of it.
Yeah, and we have a really big market for this. We're targeting anybody that can play football. There's 900 college teams, 16,000 high school teams, 32 pro teams, and then obviously your markets overseas are starting to expand as the game kind of gains popularity. We currently have a total addressable market of about $1 billion. The opportunity exists in team budget. There's no real product out there that exists that does what Answers does, but there's a lot of other football software products that compete for that same budget space that we're trying to get in with. Exos Digital, as was mentioned earlier, their video. Pro Football Focus is another surface level stats. Sports Source Analytics, same deal, and Huddle and Huddle Assist are kind of the same video and stats software programs. Our target customers, football coaches. We're trying to find the low guys on the totem pole, such as your quality control guys and your GAs, to get in and use this thing. The decision makers are your position coaches, your coordinators, and your head coach. And then the guy that writes the checks is your director of football operations, who most of the time just does what the head coach asks him to do. We're going to sell this thing through our personal network and strategic relationships. We have a staff filled with guys that have coached at the highest level and played at the highest level. We're going to use the AFCA, which is the American Football Coaches Association convention, to go and market our product in person. And we're going to have a commission-based sales system where our coaches will sell to other coaches for a small percentage. We're currently using an annual subscription model that fits the needs and wants of a specific level of plays budget. We currently have letters of intent to use from these major universities, as well as a lot of high schools in the Southeast, Texas, and Wisconsin. And to kind of summarize, we're the only real-time in-game football software that can capture and analyze data on the fly. We have a great team behind this thing, and we're always forward thinking with our product lines. We also have an addressable market of about $1 billion right now. So that's all we got, and we'll open the floor to questions now.
So a quick question in terms of really digging into the in-game aspect of this. So some of the competitor products that are in the marketplace, I assume that they can take in loads and loads of data from teams, or maybe more relevant, the offensive and defensive coordinators that switch around to different schools. So you know a particular person's, a play caller's tendencies. What is unique about your product relative to the competition as it relates to the in game? Like, is it like, do your competitors have an ability to tell you as a coach, offensive or defensive, that it's 3rd and 3 and the most common play call of a particular offensive coordinator is XYZ, and therefore the best defense for that? Like, does it help you make the play calls? And is that based on historical data? And what's unique about the in-game aspect of it?
Yeah, so kind of what differentiates us from our competitors is that those other software companies that you saw, they speak in terms that they set, meaning that if they call a cover 3-3, that's the report that they're going to give to their subscribers. Whereas our benefit is that our coaches are allowed to define everything that they want as what they choose to define it as. So if I want to call my cover 3 blue, I can define it as that. So that's kind of one of our things that stands out as far as the in-game stuff is concerned.
And also with in-game is coaches are constantly trying to adjust on the fly. And so obviously, LSU might have done something the past 3 weeks, but when they come up and they play against us, they're going to change some things. That's what that whole week before the game of prep is giving you. And so all those other tools that might give you that historical data, they're not reflecting on what LSU has done during that game itself. And a lot of times, defenses might completely shift over. They might, line up in gap, and they might shift over to head up on it for a particular game. And so this gives you adjustments based on all of that and shows your win-loss ratio based on your play calling and as well as what they're coming out at.
But the essence of predictive analytics is based on a volume of data, which makes sense in terms of pregame preparation. But the whole concept of an offensive coordinator changing things up relative to their historical tendencies is to make it unpredictable. So the in-game sample set is very, very low. So like, how does that really move the needle in terms of the in-game adjustments, because your sample set's so small relative to a much larger pregame population of data?
So it will take in historical data as well. But I get what you're saying with the smaller data set. However, you will still see tendencies that they will follow through with in the game. And it also can show you your own tendencies, so you can become less predictable if you notice that you are following suit with a certain pattern. But right now, a lot of times when people are hand scribing data, they have no way to actually visualize and pull anything valuable from it. Because again, in game, they are going to still show some tendencies between gun far and if they're having motion and things like that.
James, you had noted that yours is an offline system. Are your competitors also offline and booth capable in game, or are they after the fact?
They are all after the fact and cloud-based. So none of our competitors can be used in game in real time because they are all cloud-based.
Okay, but it's okay for you to download the historical data and use that in game, though, right?
Correct. You can
if it's offline.
Correct. You can import a CSV or copy paste from one of your other software tools and use that in game.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a quick question. So, do we have to wrap it up, Barrett?
Go ahead. We'll make yours the last question.
No, that's okay. It's all right. It was just a clarifying thing. It's good.
Okay. Thank you, Answers team. Well done. Next up, we're going to switch over to Delio. So Delio team, when you're ready, feel free to share your slides.
Sounds good. All right, I'm just going to make sure. Jake, are you good to go?
Oh, Jake, try your audio one more time. We're not getting your audio feed there.
Oh.
No, unfortunately, we're not hearing you.
Still not coming through. Still not getting it. You might want to do the tester audio on the Zoom. Oh, we can kind of hear you. It might be if you go to your audio chat, you might have to increase the mic volume on your side. It's not working too well.
Tell you what, guys, what we can do is how about we skip to the next presentation, let you guys sort out the audio issues, and then we can come back to you if that works.
That sounds good.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to move on next to Head On. She'll be ready in just a moment, and we'll look forward to hearing her pitch.
Hey everyone, my name is Ty Evans and I'm presenting Head On LLC, which is a drying apparatus that will change the life and wear of helmets worldwide. A little bit about me, I'm a junior at Mississippi State. I'm in the International Business Program studying Spanish and marketing with supply chain concentrations. Another member of my team is my mom. She couldn't be here today, but she has background in finance and she's also the inventor. So my brother Jake is an equestrian and he rides horses outside for usually 5 to 6 hours a day. So he sweats a lot. Sweat leads to odor and bacteria buildup in the lining of his helmet. And as an equestrian, he has about a $500 helmet, which is problematic if you're having to buy a new one every year. So that's where the solution comes in. Me and my mom came up with the Sweat Threat, which is a patented invention, and the prototype was made by the Idea Shop, and it pulls the moisture out of the helmet and traps it in a compartment that you can empty out. Those are pictures of our prototype, and then along with the picture of the design we had in the patent, we changed the design a little bit to make it more universal for any helmet type. And as far as our knowledge, every type of helmet we've tried fits on a stand. So it's a very universal product. So how it works, you're gonna chemical pellet in the top of the stand, and then you're gonna place your helmet on top of the stand as well. And just throughout the day and over time, it will draw moisture out of the helmet and trap it in a compartment that you can later empty out. It's easy to use, no batteries or electricity are involved. It's lightweight and portable, so it's great for equestrians who are constantly traveling to different shows, or someone who's involved in sports. They can put it in their locker. It doesn't require any manpower, so it's great for like a long day after practice, setting your helmet down and knowing you can come back the next day and it's going to be dry and clean and not smell bad. So financial model, we're looking at selling it for around $30. We have manufacturing costs, the chemical pellet costs, and then packaging costs. We've been in contact with multiple manufacturers. We're looking more overseas, just cost-wise, it's much cheaper. And we've kind of had problems with that because of Corona, and it set us back a little bit, but we're getting back on track, and we also plan to generate additional revenue by selling refills of the chemical pellet packets with our branding and our name. So our sales and market strategy, obviously we would have a website for individual selling, but mostly using the equestrian world, because the helmets are so expensive and people want to be able to wear the same helmet for longer than just a year. Also selling business to business at places like Walmart, Target, and Academy. So here we just have like a massive opportunity, constant room for growth and expansion. We obviously wouldn't be taking it global when we first begin. We just want to get it really stationed here. But any helmet can fit on this, so you can think outside of sports, into construction or into military or anything along those lines. Just to put it on a scale, There's roughly 1.5 million football helmets sold in the US each year. If only 25% of that market bought one of our devices at $30, we would already be at like $11 million in sales. That's before cost and everything. Our competitive advantage is that there's nothing to our knowledge of this on the market. We do have our patent. It doesn't require work or manpower. You are simply just setting your helmet on the stand. Other methods are more work, and usually if these guys are getting out of practice after football or anything like that, they don't want to have to go plug something in or go find batteries or like get a hair dryer and dry their helmet. They don't care. They're ready to be done and go home. And we have a worldwide customer base. A great thing about helmets is that they're not just used in the United States, so there's constant room for expansion within and outside of our company. And that's all.
3 minutes for
This is Lee Harris. I've got a question for you.
Yes,
this
sir.
is a unique product. It is, you know, you've seen what the need is and you've addressed that. How do you convince the users out there that they need your product? You know, because it is something different.
So that's a good question. So it is a product that is kind of specialized for individuals, but if you use a helmet at work or in the sports field, just helping to maintain the helmet and make it last longer is something that really sold me and my mom, because if you do have an expensive helmet, you are investing to keep that helmet longer and keep the lining and everything inside intact, as well as reducing odor if you're having to wear it every day. So I was just sold on the fact that you know, you'll keep your helmet longer and it will be in better shape at the end of the day.
Hey, this is Jason Henderson. I had a couple of questions. I want to focus on your cost and your profit. I mean, so I'm seeing you want to sell it for $30 and you're making $20. That's a pretty nice profit margin. But my specific question is the device heavy, or have you factored in shipping cost into that? I didn't see anything of that.
Okay, so I left that out only because our manufacturer that we've been in close contact with, we were almost ready to start manufacturing the mold to begin. It's made out of plastic, so it's very, very cheap. It's not heavy. The manufacturer we are in contact with is overseas. COVID hit, and then we weren't able to start processing the mold. But our manufacturers, including packaging and shipping in the manufacturing cost. So it's still really cheap per unit. It was looking like $5.
So would that cut into your $20 profit, or that would lower your profit margin based on whenever you finalize that with them post-COVID?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I said, when you finalize that, when you circle back around with your manufacturer and figure in shipping and what you just told me, will that eat into your profit margin a little bit, or will it basically remain the same? Or
it will basically remain the same. It really just depends. If we do go back to this manufacturer, it really just depends on how many molds we have to produce that product. I was configuring that with our one mold that we would have to pay to get done before the manufacturing can begin.
So when's your time frame to get to market, and what would you think? How would you see your first 3 years as far as volumes?
So right now we are doing everything we can to get back on track. We did have a long delay. We've been raising money to pay for the mold that costs around $10,000 to start manufacturing. And we're looking in the next 2 years being up and running and hopefully being in multiple stores by then and not just having like a website and things like that. We want to be out marketing in stores and Academy, Walmart, places like that.
what is the shelf life of the pellets? How long do they last, or will they pull the moisture out of a helmet? Is it 6 months, 6 weeks, or?
So they're stored before you open them. They're stored in a sealed bag. Those can be kept forever. They're fine. They don't have an expiration on them. Once you take them out of the sealed bag and you put them into your helmet stand, they can last anywhere from 2 months to 8 months, depending on how often you're using it and how much moisture it's drawing out of that helmet.
That'll have to be our last question. Great pitch. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and Team Delio, feel free to share slides. Jake, you want to test your mic again?
Sure, I think it's working.
There we go. We got you.
All right.
There we go. Ready? Are we good to start?
Whenever you're ready. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. We're Delio, an automated texting service to send you tonight's deals straight to your phone in a text message. So far, we have 2,250 users in 3 different cities in a short 5 months of operation, and we're generating revenue. My name is Cameron Maddox. I'm the CEO of Delio. I have previous startup experience from going a company called Cabal Carts to $100,000 in revenue in its 2 years of operation.
And my name is Jay Cox. I'm COO. I have digital marketing experience from running my own drone photography business and a Shopify clothing store.
And Patrick Bell is our fantastic CTO. He just graduated from Mississippi State with a master's degree in computer science. Welcome to the average 22-year-old social media feed on a Friday afternoon. Now I'm gonna give you about 5 seconds, and I want you to try to figure out what the food and drink deals are in Starkville tonight. All right, if you didn't find it, you're not alone. There is no simple way to find tonight's local food and drink deals. The only way to find this information is either through social media or word of mouth. The problem with social media is that you have to be following every single account on every different platform, and you have to be scrolling constantly to make sure you actually find the information. And it can get very time consuming. The problem with word of mouth, though, is that it's inconsistent. Most of the time, instead of hearing about a deal that's going to happen, you hear about how great a deal was from all your friends, and you still feel like you missed out. So not only are these users missing out on these deals to make a more informed decision about where to go out, but local restaurants that don't have the same reach as chains are also missing out on consumers. They'll be more than happy to go to their restaurants, especially post-COVID, but they just don't know about what the deal is. Now, we aren't the first ones to try to solve this problem. Dozens of startups have received hundreds of thousands of dollars in angel investing capital, but they all have fallen short. And the reason why comes down to where they get their deals. You see, these companies try to either get their deals from restaurants by having them manually input them, or by trying to crowdsource the different deals from their users, or we're still manually searching for all the different deals. But this is a very unscalable solution, and it creates somewhat of a chicken and egg problem. However, Delio has solved this by automating the deal collection process through a Delio curation engine. We don't have to rely on restaurants or on our users, or even on manually searching, because we've automated the entire process. And by doing so, we've solved the scalability problem that has haunted this niche in the startup industry for the past 10 years. Now the only question is, how do we get these food and drink deals to our users?
And the answer to that question is through a daily text message. Our software finds food and drink deals from restaurants without having them have to manually enter them, without us having to crowdsource, or without us having to go and find them. So this has made the process very simple, just like our sign up. It takes 10 seconds to sign up. Just put in your name, your phone number and your location, and you're good to go. And it's a freemium business model, so it is free to sign up, but you can upgrade to premium for just $2 a month. And we also make money off of our free users by charging advertisers, local businesses, to send them messages at 2 cents a person. So early on, we've already received some pretty good traction. Like Cameron said earlier, we have 2,250 active users after just 5 months. We've expanded to 3 markets in 3 months. It's Memphis, Starkville, and Tuscaloosa. And this was just to prove that the model works in different locations. And after all that, we have over 50 paying users that pay $2 a month, and 2 paying advertisers that pay $20 per 1,000 impressions. And just for reference, Google charges 8 times less than that, and Facebook charges 4 times less than that because it's not as targeted. For scaling and marketing, the first step is territory addition. So when we want to add a new territory, we find all the restaurants in that city and we input them into the curation engine. Curation engine then automatically pulls the deals indefinitely. After that, we post on social media and it'll organically grow through a community. And we've also lately been trying ad campaigns where we split test different demographics, ad creatives, and locations. Through that, we've received a customer acquisition cost of 75 cents per customer. And so far, 5% of our users that have signed up for free have been converted to premium, are paying $2 a month. Next steps are going to be launching in 3 new locations, Nashville, Auburn, and Atlanta. And this will be to further prove the business model works in these locations, With funding, we'll be at about 30,000 users by August 2021, hopefully even more than that. And after that, we'll be ready for an angel investment.
So in summary, Dealio provides tonight's local food and drink deals. Unlike past competitors, we don't have to rely on restaurants, users, or even manually searching because we have automated the deal collection process through our Dealio curation engine. This is how we've been able to reach 2,250 users in our first 5 months and expand to 3 different cities. So in closing, if you live in Starkville, Tuscaloosa, or Memphis, I'd urge you to scan the link and sign up today. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, we have 3 minutes for questions.
Can you talk about your curation engine and if there's anything proprietary about that, or is it something you're pulling off the shelf?
Sure. So the engine itself is kind of a bit like a black box. So we've met with a patent attorney, and as of right now, there isn't anything in it that's very patentable. However, with it, it's again kind of like a black box. So we can't really talk about it too much on public air. But go ahead.
But it's your black box.
It is correct. Not off the shelf whatsoever.
So another question then. So 2,200 users, but can you talk about the experience of how you built those users and specifically the churn? Like what's been sort of the profile of as you've built and have users fallen out? So like what's the total users that you've generated over time and how many, I guess that 2,200 represents what % of that total user acquired base?
Sure. So a little bit about the numbers. In our first month of operation, we actually got 1,000 users in Starkville. And all those users were free right off the bat. We didn't have a difference between free and premium at that time. And that the rest of our users since then has been off that freemium model. So of all of our users, we've had about 400 opt out. A lot of this has been kind of during the end of semesters. So we had a lot of users start leaving in November and December during the school year. And then the other part of it has been really just figuring out the freemium business model. So we have had more cancellations in places like Tuscaloosa and Memphis compared to Starkville, where we already hit that kind of critical mass aspect.
Question on your curation engine as far as the delivery of ads to specific users. You know, Tuscaloosa is a much larger town. Memphis is a much larger town. How are you, you know, if someone's over near Germantown, you know, how are you not sending them something from, you know, a different part of Memphis that they wouldn't necessarily get to?
Sure. So that's actually something. Oh, go ahead, Jake, if you want to answer.
So that actually brings us to our next product improvement. The next improvement is going to be dropping a pin on your address or drawing a circle around the location that you'd like to receive deals from. And then our curation engine will just automatically make a list custom to the area that you're in for each user.
Okay.
Is that similar to geofencing? I guess is that what you'd liken that to? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But you would be geofencing the restaurants, not necessarily because the pin drop, the end user would set their own boundaries. Is that correct?
So for example, on Facebook, when you're running an advertisement, you drop a pin where your business is or where you'd like to run ads, and then you can set the radius of that circle.
Okay.
And we're collecting all that data whenever we are getting all of the different restaurants and stuff into our system. So
that'll have to be our last question. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, guys.
Good job, y'all.
All right, and last up we have Mr. Neil Hickman. Neil, are you on the line?
I am. I'm not sure exactly how to share my screen, so if someone could help me with that.
All right, should be at the bottom of the window, share screen, green button.
Let me see here. Oh, there it is. Okay. And this started.
All right,
My
we
name's
have
Neil
your
Hickman.
slides. So whenever you're ready,
I'm
5 minutes.
My name's Neil Hickman. I'm a former Mississippi State student. I graduated with a land surveying degree, and I am the owner and founder of Hickman Farms LLC, and we have a product called the Bobble. The Bobble is an updated version of a livestock feeding bottle, which allows for you to feed baby cows that are either pulled off their mothers at the dairy or they are an orphan calf and need to be fed. The picture you see on this slide is a normal bottle. At the top, at the base of the nipple, there's a little hole that you have to press with your finger that allows air to flow into the bottle so it doesn't collapse. Is sometimes difficult, especially if you're older or younger and you have a calf button at your head or it's cold outside. But it's outdated. It's been the same for years. I grew up, I'm 23 years old and I've never seen anything different other than the bottle is a bucket system. It's easier to use, but it has a long-term cost increase basically on your calves. And where your cost increase is you're losing calves. So you're having to spend more money on, antibiotics and other devices to try and keep them healthy. And so what I come up with was a new system to replace the old system. Would allow for a quicker feeding time and allow you to save money in the long run. Our solution to the Bobble, as you see here, is a prototype drawing. It is a feeding bottle for baby cattle. Allows automatic airflow into the bottle, so you don't have to force anything. You can set it in a rack and go about your business. It allow the milk to flow smoothly. Almost, if you had children, you know about burping a baby when you feed them with a bottle. And Dr. Brown's has introduced a feeding bottle where it allows automatic airflow into the bottle for a baby, so you don't have to burp them. And it's kind of the same idea, just with cattle. This is my current prototype model. As you can see at the bottom, it has a release valve. You twist it open, and then when it's done, you twist it closed, and that will stop the airflow. When it's open, it will not collapse at all. Our objectives and goals, we want to sell in the cattle industry. Anyone raising cattle can purchase, and that's who we're hitting. And the picture you see is my fiance's niece. She was about 2 at the time, feeding a calf by herself. With a normal bottle, she wouldn't have been able to do this with the calf button at her, and she would have most likely dropped the bottle or have gotten injured. But with automatic airflow, the calf is calm and is receiving milk at a safe rate, and which also makes it safe for her. We cut feeding time from an average of 4 minutes to 2 minutes, which saves farmers a tremendous amount of time. There's only so many minutes in the day that you can actually do stuff. And living on a farm, I know that there's a lot that has to be done on a daily basis. And the decrease in sickness is the original bottle, you have to cut the nipple wide open. So it'll end up flooding the calf and allow milk to get in their lungs, which cause pneumonia. So we want to decrease in sickness as well. Our target customer is anyone raising cattle. So you got dairy farmers, you have mom and pop farmers, and you have beef farmers. Your mom and pop farmers are going to be someone like me that just has, a herd between 10 and 20 head of cows that may buy a bottle calf from the cattle sale or from the dairy to raise for beef. Our customer profile, if you look here, you have the following states in the southeastern United States. It's a total of 210,000 cattle farms. And that's a variety of cattle farms. It's not specific. So you have 210,000 opportunities to sell at least one Bobble. Our marketing strategy, we want to do face-to-face farmers markets, trade shows, and cattlemen's association meetings, which is held in almost every 50 states. It's a large one time a year in that state, and all farmers come together and they see new inventions and new equipment being promoted and could give them a competitive edge or a helping edge on their farm. We want to have a personal relationship with our nearby customers, call them, email them. We always want your feedback of what we can do better and what we can do to help you. Our main competitors I've mentioned are the original bottle. As you can see here is what it looks like collapsed, and you pretty much have to throw it away. Sometimes you can set it in hot water and it'll pop back out, but then that limits its use because it'll just keep collapsing. Again, we are easy to use, it will not collapse, and we're going to save and make farmers money by saving them time. And I'm going to explain that to you. On this example, you have an average of 250 minutes per head of cow in the 6 to 8 week feeding period, which is what you would feed a newborn calf before you wean them off the bottle. If you're looking at 200 head of calves at $15 a bottle, that's $3,000. 250 minutes times 200 calves, it's 50,000 minutes in an 8 week feeding period. You take that and you convert that into hours, it's 833 hours times $12 an hour, what you would pay a farmhand, a laborer to help you. You're looking at just under $10,000, and you minus the 3,000, and you're going to save $7,000 on labor a year.
And Neil,
or with an 8 week feeding period.
Time. We'll have to switch to Q&A here, so there will be 3 minutes for Q&A.
Okay.
Neil, this is Lee Harris. Could you quickly talk to us about the revenue model?
Oh, yes. We are looking at marketing for $15 a bottle. After a long, extensive search, I've narrowed it down, the material and the labor costs. It's going to cost us just under $4 to produce each bottle. So we're looking at 76% unit gross revenue. So per bottle, and then I'm still working on getting into the wholesale part. I'm still doing a lot of getting all that information together. After 4.5 years, I finally found where I can buy these bottles in bulk. So it took a little while. So I'm starting to get that going and hoping to have it up and going by January 22.
So Neil, you would be buying the bottles in bulk and then basically doing a manufacturing step to install the device, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you found a place that you're going to do the manufacturing near your farm, on your farm?
I'm going to start out here at my farm and work as much as I can on it and put them together and distribute. I have several feed stores within, a 20-mile radius of me that I've talked to several, and they would love to sell my product. I just got to get it going and tell them when.
Okay. Have you approached any of the larger feed chains about picking up the product for regional or national distribution?
I have not. That is something I would like to get in. I would like to see how it goes with the smaller feed stores and then get into like Tractor Supply and larger ag stores. Get my foot in the door with that by starting small and then going big.
And I guess last, have you looked at the intellectual property side of it yet?
Yes, I have. I was ready to file my provisional patent right before COVID hit, and that kind of messed things up. And then I've changed my design several times from there. So if maybe I get funded tonight, and that would go towards my new design, getting that provisional patent.
Hey, Neil, Jason Henderson. I had 2 quick questions. What kind of feedback are you getting from people you've showed it to, and how easy or labor intensive, or is it not just to install the airflow on the existing bottle that you're going to try to buy in bulk?
The existing bottle is fairly simple. Right now, I just drill a hole and pop it in, run it through some water, make sure it doesn't leak, and let it go. But I've only had one negative review. And from the farmer that owns a dairy, it's kind of a smaller dairy, it was the price, which, if you buy, once I get it figured out, buying in bulk, that price would come down for the farmer. But that's the only negative I've had is the price.
Okay.
Are baby calves fed one at a time? Like, how do big cattle farms feed presumably a large number of baby cows?
So in one dairy in the United States, in California, I spoke on, they feed an average of 250 calves a day, twice a day. They have a trailer that they pull behind a tractor, and it has bottles in it, and they set them in a rack. And it's least time effective. And then once the bottle's done, they come back and pick it up. They don't have time to sit there and hand feed 200 head of cows. But they're also losing money when they're $5-6 here, but California, it could be $10-12 a bottle.
That'll have to be our last question. Thank you, Neil. Good job.
Welcome.
All right, folks. We have had 5 outstanding pitches here, and now our judges have the tough decision of putting them into a winner's bracket. As a reminder, we have 3 awards we're going to do tonight. Third place is $500, second place $1,000, and first place $2,500, as well as moving on to compete in our grand finale tomorrow. Just a reminder, the People's Choice Award, another $250 eligible for any team. Go on our YouTube feed, click the description, and be sure to vote for your People's Choice. You can vote as many times as you like. We've got some great teams for you to choose from. Folks, stay with us. We'll be back shortly to announce the winners. Okay, welcome back, folks. We just had a very tough deliberation on these 5 pitches. The judges were really going back and forth, working hard to figure it out. But of course, we have to make a choice, and they have indeed done so. Before we announce winners, though, I wanted to give each of the judges an opportunity to share some feedback on what they saw tonight. And so we'll start with Mr. John Walters, feedback on the night.
Feedback. One, congratulations to all of you. It's fantastic to see these pitches. Tomorrow, you win, lose, or draw. You keep fighting and keep working on your business ideas and keep and carry on. I guess some of the highlights for me tonight, just from a overall perspective, is to, clearly focus in on your market segments, to figure out how you can pivot to scale and reach more markets, more eyeballs, more customers, and how you do that effectively and efficiently. And then to, focus on all the underlying costs for your price and projection models. But overall, the pitches were all very strong. It made for a very difficult decision tonight.
Great, John. Thank you. Let's go to Mr. Lee Harris. Feedback for the teams tonight. And Lee, you are muted.
I want to reiterate what John was saying. It was great to see the progression, of these ideas and, where you are in either the manufacturing or the business concept, where you are on that path to getting a product to market. My thing I would really want you to understand, and I've met with a couple of teams before, but understand your costs, all of your costs. Really key in on that, because you've got some wide margins out there. Do you need to go in with a slightly lower selling price, but understand all of your costs. And I mean that's down all the way down to electricity, insurance for your building, all those things that go into making a product. If it pertains to your business, you really need to drill down to what those costs are, so that you get a true idea of what your margin is and what your, theoretical income could be on a per unit basis. But y'all, great job on the pitches, and coaches enjoyed working with y'all. Thank you.
Jason, thoughts on the night?
Oh, I'll just kind of echo everybody's comments. Had a great time doing this. We saw some great pitches, some great startup companies. They really made it hard on us, so we had to deliberate for a long time, but we sorted it out. But really enjoyed doing this. So I would say takeaways for me is, really focus on your value proposition. Who are you? What makes you unique? What's your competitive advantage? Why should we buy it from you? We use your product or service. So just really kind of know who you are and your position in the marketplace. And then secondly, know who your customers are. I mean, we heard lots of things tonight. Some were clearly defined, some were more broad, but really understand who can use your product or service, how to communicate with them, speak to them, and ultimately get them to either sign up or use or buy your product.
Great feedback. And Stephen, let's go to you. Feedback for the teams tonight.
Sure. So congrats on getting as far as everybody's gotten on their businesses. I think it's really remarkable. And know that what you're working on impacts a lot of people, including all of us judges. In our deliberation, we were all very impressed. And I think as folks that have relationships, either as alums or whatever the case may be, it makes us proud to see you guys coming up with such great ideas and great products that are changing your industries, or changing the world, or hopefully putting a couple additional wins in the win column for Mississippi State next year. So thank you for all you're doing. I would echo everything that has been said in terms of focusing on your costs and expenses. I think that as a general rule, costs are always much higher than you think. And on the other side of the coin, revenues are always harder to come by than you think. And as Jason was just saying, to be able to evaluate how to penetrate a market as quickly as possible, you really have to get focused. Like, who is your true best customer? So oftentimes there's a tendency to say, well, gosh, we can sell to anybody, but you really want to know and understand who is going to be most motivated to buy your product first. And that's a function of who you are providing the most value to. And so I think that's something that I would encourage everybody to look at, because if you know how much value that you are delivering to your customers, that informs you as to what you can price your product or service at. And that's the flip side of knowing your expenses. So great job to everybody. We're excited to see you guys go and do amazing things with these companies. I think they're all viable, and you should definitely pursue each and every one of these ideas.
Thank you, judges, for your feedback and, of course, your time tonight. Teams presenting, these guys aren't being paid to do this. They're here out of the goodness of their heart. You are joining a family that supports you now, of folks who are in your court and wanting you to succeed, regardless of how the decisions are made tonight. I have to give another thank you to our sponsors and volunteers throughout the year. Again, BankTel Systems, Reed Food Technologies, Industry Services Co. For funding this event and making it possible. The last thing I will say is, folks, remember, this is just fun. So win, lose, whatever the score comes out as, the true win is waking up tomorrow and keep working on this business and making it successful. So please do that, and know that every single one of us on the screen are here for you as well. All right, the moment everybody's waiting for, we're going to announce tonight's winners, starting with the People's Choice. And I'll let Mr. Jason Henderson share tonight's People's Choice winner.
All right. Our People's Choice winner for this evening is Delio. Congratulations.
All right. Congratulations,
Cam and AJ.
Team. I understand we had over 1,300 total votes for the night. So thank you, audience, for participating and helping to make People's Choice fun. Moving on to prize number 3rd place for $500. John, who's taking it home tonight?
All right. After a lot of discussion, and again, all the pitches were great tonight, our 3rd place award goes to Aerostrip. Congratulations. Great job on your pitch, and we look forward to seeing great things from you.
Awesome. Congratulations to the Aerostrip team. Moving on to 2nd place in the $1,000 prize, Mr. Lee Harris, who's taking that home tonight?
It is my pleasure to announce that Delio is taking home 2nd place tonight.
All right. Congratulations to the Delio team. Well done. Moving on to our grand prize, and the winner who's going to take home $2,500 and move on to the grand finale tomorrow. I'm going to ask Mr. Stephen Bueller, who's taking home the grand prize tonight.
All right. Thanks for the honor to announce this. So very pleased to announce that Answers is the winner of the grand prize tonight. Congrats. And really fantastic pitch and some really interesting work that's been done so far, and certainly a lot of promise going forward. So great job, and keep the momentum going.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, participants, and everybody who pitched tonight. You did a fantastic job again. Folks joining us online, we appreciate you joining and participating. You'll want to tune in tomorrow night. We're going to take the winners of 5 of the previous divisions who are going to pitch in the grand finale tomorrow. You won't want to miss it, as well as check out some of our alumni who are going to join in as pitch as well as part of the Startup Summit 2021. Thank you, folks. Have a great night.